Hello and welcome to week 3, episode 3 of the Tea in Tokyo podcast. My name is Saumya.
And I am Ellie.
And what did we get up to, Ellie, this week?
So this week we visited a shrine for Hatsumo Day. We visited an art gallery and we went to a Ferris wheel and we had a very Disneytastic few days.
Yeah, that's right. It's been a really good week. All that and more coming up right now. Alright, so yeah, we had a pretty amazing week. Like, we kept saying to each other all week that this was by far the greatest week of our lives. Like, not just in Japan, but in our entire lives. The last 3 weeks in general have been the greatest, but this week in particular, yeah, we just did so many amazing things this week.
We were just like super touristy. We just sort of like had a great time.
Yeah, it turns out it's really good just being a tourist.
Yeah,
you know?
honestly.
Before we get into that, something that we did literally just like an hour ago or 2 hours ago was we went to the Frozen Cafe.
And it's at the cafe called Oh My Cafe.
Yeah, that's right.
In Tokyo
yeah.
Plaza.
Yeah, so it's like a normal cafe normally, but for the last month or so, they've turned it into like a Frozen 2 themed cafe. You know, we were kind of like interested in it, so we thought we'd buy tickets to it. We bought the tickets last week, so today we went. We had a bit of a hard time just getting there.
The universe was trying to tell us not to do it. We got on the train, and then Saumya realised we forgot to bring the tickets. So he like tried to get out of the train, but I didn't realise why he was like telling me to get off the train. So he didn't, and we had to catch it to the next station and back, and then run home to get the ticket. So it was like a mission in the first place.
Yeah, and we were already late anyway, and I knew you couldn't be late there. So it was like a real rush. But anyway, we finally got to the cafe, we went in, and like just straight off the bat, it was a real disappointment for me. Like, there was one giant Elsa statue in the middle, and they had like a couple of like curtains up, and they had the exact same song playing on repeat over and over again.
That Into the Unknown song was playing over and over again.
Yeah, so like it just isn't what we were expecting at all. Maybe like I think we might have gone a little bit like too happy with like the whole Disneyland thing,
which we'll talk about later. But
yeah, like
it was cool. I mean, it was like I could see how if you brought your kids who like loved Frozen to it, they would be thrilled. Like there were some little kids there who were like stoked and were like taking photos and they thought it was amazing. But like as 2 adults going, it was just a bit underwhelming.
The worst part of all though was the food. We ordered the food. There's not much options anyway. There's like 4 things that you can order. It
was like
around.
So I got it was like a weird sweet potato pie thing with like, it literally had, so what it literally had was it was like Wheat Bix. If you're not from New Zealand, you might know what that is, but it's like a dry dessert, like cereal wheat thing, like sprinkled over like a sweet potato. And then there was like 3 grapes, 3 strawberries, 2 slices of apple, 1 slice of an orange, and like a couple of blueberries. So it was a bit like,
Yeah, and I had a creamy mushroom chicken pasta, which sounded really good, but man, like I swear to God that this place didn't have any chefs. It was everything was like reheated in a microwave. Everything was dry as hell.
Like,
and
it looked good. It all looked really cool. Like
I don't even know if it looked good. They kind of tricked us by making it look like it looks good, because they like on top of the food, there's like an almost it's really just a sticker of like the Frozen characters and stuff.
Well, like we both got it was like a cheesecake drink, like latte style drink without coffee, and it was like there was like a Frozen sticker, but you could like drink it obviously on top, which was quite cool. But then the actual drink itself was just kind of like, you know, like H2Go flavored water, how it's like a real mild flavor.
Yeah,
it was like that. It was like a milk with like a teeny bit of cheesecake flavor.
Yeah, I swear it was just heated up milk. I was excited at first because I thought they had I thought the barista had made that pattern.
Oh, did you not realize it was a sticker? Is that why you were so excited?
And there was also a sticker on like my main meals as well. And I was just like, oh god, get these fucking stickers out of here, you know? So that was a really shit. And also maybe the shittest part actually, apart from the food, was when we had to pay. Yeah. Turns out it was 7,000 yen.
Which is like 99 New Zealand dollars.
Yeah.
It was literally $99, and then we also paid for our tickets to get in. So it was like...
We paid almost like $150 overall. It was so bad that straight afterwards, we went into like a ramen place right by our train station.
Got some 400 yen ramen. It was amazing. It was delicious. I'm so full. My tummy hurts right now.
That just shows that money does not make something good.
Yeah. I mean, it sucks that we started off the podcast on a negative note, but man, we just had to get that out there.
Yeah, honestly. I was going to do an emergency podcast for that because that was just so terrible. But anyway, yeah, so we ended the week on a pretty bad note, but we started the week trying to go to the Frozen Cafe, right? So this was before we bought the tickets. We thought you could just rock up. Turns out, that they've tricked a lot of people because it's completely packed, and you have to buy tickets to it.
Yeah, you have to reserve them, and you get like a free placemat for reserving. So that's kind of good. You get a free placemat.
But anyway, we were going to go to the Frozen Cafe. We're at Harajuku Station, but there was like a lot more people there than there normally are, and they were all going in like one way. It was like a river of people, and we knew we had to take another exit. But we just ended up getting caught in like...
And the people working at the station were directing like the flow of traffic of people, and we just got trapped in amongst all the people.
Yeah, we had no idea where the hell we were going, but you know what? We were like, screw it. The universe is trying to take us somewhere, so we let it take us. And boy, are we glad that we let it take us, because like we ended up at the shrine.
Yeah. The Meiji Jingu Shrine.
Yeah, that's right. It's a shrine that's like dedicated to Emperor named Meiji.
And his empress, I can't remember what her name is.
Yeah.
Their souls are like enshrined in it.
Yeah, so I think it was like a New Year's event.
So I looked up before about the shrine, because we didn't know where we were going at the time. And this shrine is like one of the most popular ones in the country, but at New Year's specifically, it is the busiest shrine for the New Year's like prayers in the country. So on average, it gets 10 million people a year, and 3 million of those people are at the New Year like prayers.
Yeah, and like a couple of days after New Year's.
Yeah, I think it's like New Year's to the 3rd, and we were there on like the 5th or the 7th, but it was still like a good 100,000 plus people.
Yeah, there were so many people. It makes sense why there were so many people, because it was such a great place. Just this giant temple. The walk there, like even though it's in Harajuku, which is in the middle of the city basically, they've somehow managed to fit like basically like a forest in there.
Yeah,
like you don't even realize you're in the city. There's like a river that runs through it.
So I was looking this up before, and apparently they knew when they first built the shrine like a bajillion years ago that it was going to be super popular. So they like purposefully planted that forest to make it into like beautiful like experience in the city. Yeah.
Oh, nice. And so yeah, we'd definitely recommend like if you're ever around Tokyo, like around New Year's, definitely check out that temple specifically, or like just any temple.
Yeah,
I think
it's so
like totally
big.
worth
It's
it.
like larger than life temple. We went and did our fortunes for the new year. So you basically like you shake a box and it comes out with a stick that has like your number. And there's like it was kind of creepy because there's like all these numbers, and we did them separately. You pay 100 yen, and we both got number 28.
Yeah, we both got the same number. Like, what the heck's the chances?
Yeah, and so we both got the fortune for number 28, and it was basically what it said was to let go of the little things in the new year and just focus on the bigger picture. Don't get caught up in the small things, which is like, I mean, it's like obviously one of those things where like it could apply to anyone.
Yeah.
Like it's a barman or something effect, I think it's called, but like...
Yeah, I normally don't like buying into these things, but it's like, man, you know, we moved to Japan. It's like a big thing. Letting go of all the small
we need
stuff.
to focus on the big picture of we're in a new country rather than getting caught up in the little things, like...
Yeah, these
like the
fortunes
Frozen
got us
Cafe.
good. Yeah, exactly. We need to forget that already. Fuck that place. And then the next day, what we did is... Oh, actually, you know what we did do is we went to see Star Wars. We won't really talk too much about it.
I liked it, Saumya didn't.
That's basically it, actually. That's all you need to know about that. But yeah, we went to an art gallery. But not the type of art gallery that you might normally see. This one was
The
Team
Team
Lab
Lab,
Borderless Digital Art Museum or something. You've probably seen it actually because it's super, super popular on like Instagram.
It's the most visited single artist like museum or art gallery or whatever in the world.
So the way the art gallery works is that it's only like light displays. So there's like light projected from projectors on all the walls and stuff. And it's really cool. Like I've never seen anything like that before. Like, we've never been to a museum like that.
Apparently the way it works, like they say when you go in, is that if you go back a separate time, it might be the same displays, but they'll move. So you can't find the same room easily. Like you might have found like one that you really liked, but then you go back to the same spot and there'll be a different exhibit there. You have to like hunt it down because everything's moving, like it's not stationary.
Yeah, which is cool because then it's not like you know, you hear about like people going to see the Mona Lisa, and you don't even get a chance to see it because there's so many people standing in the way. Whereas in this, you don't really have to worry about that because the art moves. So if you don't see it in one spot, you'll see it somewhere else.
Although, and I say this as a bit of a hypocrite because we were doing the same thing, the one negative about the art gallery is that it's such a like aesthetic, Instagrammable place that like for the cool bits, everyone's trying to get photos in them, and all of it's cool, but there are some bits that are obviously like more aesthetic than others.
Yeah,
and
there's like a waterfall bit.
Yeah, we were doing the same thing, so we're like being hypocritical, complaining about it, but it definitely kind of took away from the experience. Like if I went again, I would not bring a camera.
I think like you have to go twice for that though.
Yeah.
Because the first time it's so good taking photos there. The photos look so good.
We spent 7 hours there.
Yeah. Highly recommend going to that. They also have like a tea house there. You can pay like 500 yen extra to go there.
And you get your tea with that.
Yeah, have a cup of tea there. Which is tea's pretty good. Ellie got like a hot green tea.
I got like a milky green tea latte with like a chamomile, and it was really sweet and yummy and like, you know, good.
Yeah, apparently that was real good. I got a cold one, which wasn't that good, so I'd recommend
cold
getting
green tea, which
yeah.
I knew was a bad idea.
I recommend getting the hot one. But yeah, the cool thing about that tea is that like in front of you on your desk, there's on the table, there's no light there initially, and then when they bring the tea over and they put it on your table, all of a sudden the light appears, and then it like knows when you're drinking. Like you can like and that's not the only time when you can interact with light. Actually, I just remembered that like there's a room, there's things like falling, like projected things
like
falling.
Kanji falling, and when you tap on them, it'll like whatever the kanji is, like it might cause like a a rainstorm.
Yeah, like that's insane. I don't understand how they can do that.
Yeah,
that's so cool.
But I mean, the tea was cool because what it was is like they'd put your cup down, and then like a flower or something would start to bloom in it, and then when you picked up your cup to drink it, all of the leaves would like not the leaves, the like petals would scatter. Yeah, so it was like quite like very like unique, cool experience.
Yeah, that's definitely awesome. When we went, there was like no line to get in, which was cool, but there are a couple of lines like once you get inside to get into special rooms, but none of the lines are like that long. They're probably 30 minutes at the most.
Yeah, the longest one we waited for was for one exhibit called The Nest, which is basically like a giant domed circular room, and you're like you lie down on a net in the middle.
Yeah.
And that one was like, it was really good, but we had actually already seen that with the exhibits moving, the issue was we'd already seen the exhibit that was there at the time previously in another part called The Cave.
Yeah, but I guess like you see it in a different way. Like you don't see it in that like, you know, it's not all surrounding you in the cave, right?
Yeah, so in the nest you're like lying in amongst it, within it, whereas at the cave where we first saw it, you're just watching it on the wall. So I mean, it was still really cool. And then the lantern room, which is probably what people
the
would
lantern
have seen.
room's best, yeah.
Except it was kind of weird because it's the best room for photos, and so there's like a line to get in, and then you get like 30 seconds in there with like a group of people, and then you have to go out because like it's so popular.
Yeah, fair enough. I definitely get why they do that. And also the fact that you go in with like little groups also makes it easier to take photos, so that's good.
Oh yeah, because I mean if they didn't rush people out, you'd stay there for so long getting like good photos.
Yeah. And if you want to see the lantern room, you could see it on our Twitter or Instagram page.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, after that museum, art gallery, which was really cool, we went on a Ferris wheel. The Ferris wheel, apparently, in 1998, it was the biggest Ferris wheel in the world. I don't know if it still is.
I'm guessing it isn't.
Yeah,
but
probably
it was
not.
Still pretty
the biggest one's probably in like United Arab Emirates or something now, right? They have everything there.
It was called like was it the Udaiba?
I have no idea what it was called, but it was 150 meters tall, which is tall as shit. I'm super afraid of heights, so like, even like thinking about going on it just made my balls hurt. Like every single time anything to do with heights, I can feel like pain in my feet, and then it moves up my legs and just rests in my balls. Like that's just how it is.
Too much information for you.
Yeah, I know, it was terrible.
But you did it, and it was really cool. You get like we did it at night time, so we got like a really cool view of like Tokyo at night. You can see like basically across all of Tokyo. Obviously, it's too big to see all of Tokyo. But, you know, you can see the main stuff. Like we could see like Tokyo Tower. We could see like.
Yeah, like the city and stuff. And then also it's next to the airport, so you can see like the airport and the ocean. The ocean's on one side and the city's on the other, which looks pretty cool.
And we can see the Rainbow Bridge.
Yeah, I want to do it again at daytime and see like what you can see, you know. But yeah, that was pretty awesome. It was definitely a way for me to slowly get over my fear of heights, which is one of my goals this year. Being in Tokyo, which we'll get into in a little bit. But yeah, the next thing that we did was like the best thing that we've done in Japan and in our lives, and that is going to Disneyland.
Yeah, totally recommend. 100% worth it.
Ellie's like a massive Disney fan. I'm a fairly big Disney fan.
I love every Disney movie.
Yeah.
Like, and I think that, like, because I'm like a fantasy, sci-fi, horror person. But Disney, like, I could just, like, watch Disney movies and listen to Disney music, like, on repeat, like, very happily.
Yeah, and the fact that Pixar's part of Disney now makes me, like, a way bigger fan as well. Going to Disneyland was something that we always knew that we were going to do, no matter how much it costs.
Yeah,
Whereas,
because
like,
it
you
is
know
expensive.
what? We're like, this is one thing that we'll definitely do, and it was basically, like, the last amount of money that we had to be able to spend
we
on
literally,
bullshit.
like, have no money now.
Yeah,
we
like,
need to start
yeah.
working ASAP.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, this was the last week of just pure fun for us because we start work next week. So we'll let you know what it's like working in Japan. But yeah, we've definitely run out of money now. So now it's like we're gonna have to see where we can places that we can walk to and places that are free.
Exactly. But when we were in Disneyland, we, like, went into it and we decided we're not going to stress about money while we're here because that takes away from the experience. Like, you
Yeah,
don't want to
that's the
go
way
to
to
a
do
place like that and be, like, counting your pennies. Like, you want to go and you just want to be able to have fun. So we both bought, like, I got a cute rose gold sparkly Minnie Mouse headband. Saumya got a little Donald Duck one, like...
Donald Duck's butt.
Yeah, it was Donald
like
Duck's
he's saying
butt
that.
coming out of Saumya's head.
Yeah, that was great. But yeah, so like Disneyland, like it's really is like a small town. Like it's like you're going to
Like
a
a large
completely
town.
yeah, like a large town. Yeah, it's like you've left Tokyo and you've entered in this new world.
Like, honestly, I would say it's bigger than, like, many towns in New Zealand.
Oh yeah, for sure, and with more like bigger population in terms of just the workers.
Yeah. The staff are amazing. I think they call them the cast because they're, like, actors playing the role.
Yeah, right.
Or they're there, and they were all so, like, friendly and nice, and, like, we can speak a tiny bit of Japanese, but not really enough, but they were so patient and kind.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
helping you
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, they're like the rest of Japan, but like even nicer,
Yeah.
which is weird because like you didn't think you could get any nicer. Yeah, it was really cool just seeing like the famous rides that we've known about, like Splash Mountain and what's it called? It's a nice
It's a
world.
small world.
It's a small world. Yeah,
It's a small town.
yeah. Being able to go on those rides that I've heard about so much is like really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was your favorite ride?
I would say my favourite one was probably, like, obviously Splash Mountain because it's, like, fun, it's extreme. I really enjoyed what was that, like, planet one?
Planet.
The mountain. It was another mountain.
Space Mountain.
Space Mountain.
Yeah.
All that one. I like adrenaline ones. Okay, so something Saumya pointed out was that you don't go to Disneyland if you want adrenaline because most of the rides are, like, pretty chill and pretty, like, they're like little boat rides.
Yeah, there's definitely a difference between like Disneyland and like Dreamland. Dream World. If you're from like Australia, New Zealand, you'd know what that is. Like Dream World. Like there's some theme parks which are dedicated to like adrenaline junkies
And, like, big roller coasters, whereas this was, like, there's a couple of roller coasters.
Yeah, Disneyland's about the love of Disney and like imagination and
Which is
fantasy
great,
and all that
honestly.
kind of stuff,
Like, happiest place in the book. What was your favourite one, Saumya?
my one was Splash Mountain as well, but also like the one that we got a fast pass to, which was Big Thunder Mountain. Or
Oh,
something.
yeah, that one was
was
good.
really cool. Yeah.
So on fast passes, we learnt the hard way.
Yeah.
So with the fast pass, you take your normal ticket that you used to get in, and you scan it, and then it spits out a ticket that says come between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m. to go through, like, the speedy line. And what we didn't realise, though, is that they have a limit on, like, you can't just go get one fast pass and then another and another. So we went and got a second one, but we didn't realise the ticket that it spit out. We didn't read it properly.
Yeah.
It just said come back at, like, this time.
Yeah, always read the tickets.
And it
folks.
turns out that was saying you can't get another fast pass yet, try again after this time. But we thought that was the fast pass, so we, like, went to go use it, and they were like, this isn't a
Yeah,
fast
the poor
pass.
Japanese lady working there, like, she was, like, being so nice. She was like, oh, sorry, no.
That
Like,
was racist.
well, no, that's literally what she said. Like, it's not racist if you were sounding like that, I can do it in
Yeah,
French,
she
oh
was, like,
God.
apologising to us, even
Yeah.
though we were the idiots who hadn't looked at our ticket.
And I looked at it and I was just like, wait, oh, for fuck's sakes, god damn it.
So, like, yeah, so you can get more than one in a day, but I think to stop people from doing what we did, which is just going and getting them one after the other, there has to be, like, a 2-hour gap or something between getting them.
Yeah, which is fair enough.
Oh, yeah, totally. The other thing with fast passes is I think they obviously have a set amount of fast passes for each day, and then they close them. So you want to go to the ones that you want to go to the most first, because they may not have a fast pass later on in the day.
Yeah,
which is
that's
what
right.
we found.
Next time we go to Disneyland, we'll definitely go straight to the one that we need a fast pass for and get that first before we do
Yeah.
anything else.
Although, I mean, in general, the lines were not that long. I expected them to be long from how much people talk about it, but in Disneyland, I reckon the longest one we saw was probably like 50 minutes, 45 minutes.
Yeah, which isn't actually that long. Like, but yeah, like the rides are really, really cool though. I really like the special effects, the practical effects in all the rides. Like, I had no idea that we had gotten to that point of technology to make things look that
Like
real.
with the
And, like,
animatronics. And
yeah, like they're moving around, they're singing and stuff. Like, who would have thought? So yes, Disneyland was really, really great.
Although, another negative, I'm being very negative this podcast, but I will say the food.
Yeah, the food was pretty trash.
No, trash is too strong of a word. I'd say it was just very Like, they
Yeah.
have, like, so many people coming through each day that they've basically just got, like, reheat cafeteria food.
Yeah, it's kind of like seemed like in New Zealand we don't have cafeteria food because the schools don't have cafeterias.
Yeah, and I mean,
Like,
it's illegal in New Zealand to have, like, warming trays, isn't it? Like, food has to be cooked. Like, didn't it
I
get
don't
made
think so.
illegal?
No, I feel like
Or maybe
KFC
it's
and
just
stuff
that.
still has
Oh,
it.
do they?
But yeah, like just from watching like American TV, like seeing like you know like The Simpsons, like them getting their school lunch from the cafeteria lady, it kind of seemed like that kind of food, where it was like you order something and then they have it there within 2 minutes because it's all like heating up in the back, which is fine. Like that's what you kind of expect from them. But yeah, the food. Is
I mean, the
not
very
that
first food we got when we got there was we got like waffles, which are
The-
made
well,
in
yeah.
front of you, and those are good. That
Those
was
are really
that was
good.
really yummy.
Yeah, for sure.
But the rest of the food we got was a bit so-so.
Yeah, so
Disneyland, A+.
yeah.
Next
Disneyland
day,
A+.
though, oh boy,
Well,
even better.
yeah. So next day we went to DisneySea. DisneySea is something that we didn't even realize was a thing
Well,
like a month ago.
Okay, I knew it was a thing.
What, you knew Disney Sea was a
only
thing?
because so I watched a YouTuber who I really like called Currently Hannah.
Yeah.
Had done a while ago, did a thing talking about how great Disney Sea is and how not many people have heard of it. So I was like excited for it.
But like, I wonder if they had like I don't know if they have DisneySea in like Orlando or like.
Oh,
in
yeah, I don't
thing.
know.
Maybe that's a Tokyo thing. But anyway, yeah, DisneySea just straight off the bat, as soon as you walk through the gate, I reckon it seems like better than Disneyland straight away. Like,
Yeah, so you walk in and there's like... So first of all, you catch a special Disney train to get there. And then right outside the Disney train station is like this giant like globe that's like floating above some water, like
Yeah.
with water like streaming down it, which is cool. And then you walk through the main entranceway and it's just like massive. Like Disneyland has this blue mountain, which is like a giant 2D mountain, and we were really impressed by that.
Yeah.
DisneySea has like a literal 3D volcano like built
Yeah,
into
an
it.
actual volcano. Like not an actual volcano, but yeah,
It's got like
I was
steam or
very
whatever
impressed,
and like
yeah.
fake lava, and it's like a ride. But
Yeah, a volcano with like a huge lake out front, and then like a Venice Game of Thrones looking kind of like town.
like a whole town.
Yeah, I was super, super, super impressed by
We were
that.
blown away when we walked through.
Yeah, for sure. The other thing that we I think preferred with Disney Sea were the rides, or at least like the top tier rides. They had like the Tower of Terror.
Oh yeah, that was good.
They had, what else did they have? They had the Journey to the Center of the Earth, which is the one that goes to the volcano.
Like an Indiana Jones one.
Yeah, they had like more adrenaline rushy kind of
Yeah,
rides,
they
right?
did. Or at least when we went to Disneyland and Disney Sea as well, it's like the off season, and so there was quite a lot of construction going on.
Yeah,
so some of
true.
the bigger rides you couldn't do. So we're gonna have to go back.
Yeah. Which one was your favorite?
My favorite ride.
Yeah.
So it's kind of 3. We've already said Tower of Terror was amazing. We waited like 75 minutes for it, and when we got there we were like, oh my god, is this even a ride? Like, we thought it might be like a tour of the house or something, and we were like, crap, we just waited like so long for this crap. And then we got in and we were not expecting it to be one of those like drop rides, because they'd sort
yeah.
of like lulled us away with the weird tour that went on first.
Yeah, at first I thought it was that because it was called Tower of Terror, so I was like, it's got to be that.
Yeah.
But then I read the description and it was like, you know, it was like, come explore this tower or blah, 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 like, come to the penthouse, but it all isn't what it seems. So I was like, oh, what?
Yeah.
Maybe you like, maybe it's like an exploration kind of thing. And then it kind of seemed that way because at first when you're on the ride, you go up and it just shows you these rooms where like scary
Yeah, it's like
shit
you go in
happens.
an elevator and seated, and it stops at each floor with like, it's like a hologram of like telling a story of what happened to the person who owns the hotel or whatever.
Yeah, so it definitely seemed like, oh, okay, cool. There was just going to be scary things in each floor, which, like, to be honest, probably would have been, like, I would have been happy enough just because the effects were, like, so good. They had, like, holograms and stuff like that. But then it all of a sudden just randomly drops, and then it, like,
And
it
like,
scares the fuck out
I
of you.
love adrenaline, and I was not expecting it, and I freaked out because I raised in my seat so much that I thought that I hadn't done my seatbelt
Yeah,
properly.
yeah.
And I was like grabbing onto Saumya.
Yeah, Ellie, like, never, like, grabs onto my hand in terms of, like, when we're on rides, because
Yeah.
she doesn't usually get that scared compared to me. I'm a huge pussy when it comes to this. So, like, I'm absolutely terrified of heights.
Yeah, but in this one, you got to be the brave one because I was the scared one.
Like, Disneyland, DisneySea is sort of like therapeutic for
Yeah.
me. Like, I'm finally, like,
It's
trying
like,
to
what,
get
some
over
exposure
my...
therapy.
Yeah, exactly. I'm finally trying to get over my fear of heights, which we've realized is probably not only like a fear of heights. Like, so basically the story of my
Yeah.
my fear goes all the way back to 11 years. Actually, no, it was way longer than 11 years ago.
Yeah, you're
eh?
older than you think.
Yeah, it was when I was 11.
Yeah.
So that's way more than 11 years ago. So we went to, so I was in America with my parents, like on a family holiday. And of course, like one of the places that you kind of have to go was Disneyland in Orlando, Florida. So we were planning on going there. And then I was basically so afraid of like roller coasters and heights and just theme parks in general that I threw like a giant tantrum. And I was like, nah, fuck that.
He
I ain't
was
going.
like too old to be throwing a tantrum, but he threw it
I wasn't there.
anyways.
I was like 10 years old.
11 is like too old to
No,
be...
well then fine. Tantrum's not the right word. It was just like, nah, I ain't going to that. So my parents like literally had to like cancel the trip and we didn't go. And then when I came back home, like all my friends were like, oh, so what was, Disneyland like? And I had to like come up with some bullshit. So I just told them like, oh,
He spun
nah.
a web of lies.
I did, yeah. I told them that, oh, no, a connecting flight from Denver was like too much snow, so it got like delayed and it was going to mess up our plans. But anyway, yeah, so I was completely terrified of like heights. Like I said before, my feet freaking, like I can just watch a video of someone on like a tall building or a cliff and my feet hurt like really badly.
Do you know how nervous Saumya was the whole day we were at Disneyland? It was that he literally had to go pee every like 2 seconds. I thought something was wrong with him.
Yeah.
It wasn't
She
until
thought
he
I had
told me that he was...
diabetes.
I was like, Saumya, I think you've got like kidney problems or something wrong with your prostate. Like...
Yeah,
I was getting very concerned for that.
I didn't want to tell Ellie because it was just because I was like, nah, I'm literally like pissing myself because I'm like pissing myself. But no, yeah, it's not just a fear of heights though. Like it stems from like a real fear of just like, I actually figured it out. It was like, no, I'm more afraid of just like failure in general. Like that's like the reason in life that I don't do most things, and it's because of that I don't like going on like rides either, because I have this like irrational fear that I'm the one that's going to cause a problem and then ruin it for everybody.
But you know what? I can totally relate because when I was little in Christchurch, we used to, before the earthquakes, we had this place called Science Alive, which was one of the things in it was like it had a massive vertical slide. And one of my most like traumatic childhood memories is I went all the way to the top of the slide and then I couldn't go down it and I had to walk all the way back down. It was so embarrassing.
I went to
I reckon that's why I want to do the rides, because I'm like trying to prove to myself that I'm not scared of adrenaline.
Maybe. I mean, when I went to Science Lab, I didn't even go up the steps.
You see, I went up, I
bottom,
sat on the edge and like you had to like lean forward and put your hands on it, and I did that and then I was like, no, I'm out.
So like Disneyland and DisneySea has been like really good for me, not just because it's been a great experience, but for that reason as well. There were 2 rides that like would have been really good. One of them we couldn't go to because the line was too long. So it's called like the flying soaring something.
Something to do with flying in the sky.
But like on the map, it says that if you're afraid of heights, you shouldn't do it. So I was like, okay, sweet. This is the one that I have to do because it's going to help me out a lot. But yeah, when we first got there, the line was 140 minutes long.
And the fast pass was already sold out. So
yeah, and this was this was in the morning, and the fast pass had already sold out.
Yeah.
So we were like, okay, then whatever, we'll come back later. We came back later.
We came back several times, and the
Yeah.
line was always at least 120 minutes.
Yeah.
Right up until like it was closing, the line was still 120 minutes.
Yeah, so we couldn't get to it. Next time, like we'll definitely try to go even earlier and then try to get
the
fast
pass
pass
straight away.
Or actually, you know what? We've already been on the other ride, so we can just wait for 2 hours.
Yeah, bring a little chair.
Yeah. And then like there was an Indiana Jones ride.
No,
which
not
was
Indiana.
cool. No, I'm just saying.
Oh, right.
It was like next to the Indiana Jones ride, where it said on like the description that there was like a 360 loop, like a roller coaster with a loop, and it's the only one with a loop in Disneyland or DisneySea. But it was closed because it was being repaired. Like a couple, like there were quite a few rides in both Disneyland and DisneySea that were closed for repairs. So we're gonna have to definitely go back and have a look at those later.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the other thing that's really cool about DisneySea is the show. Like at the end, they have like a Fantasia like kind of show in the middle of the lake where like Mickey Mouse sings like on top of this like cone thingy, and then
Yeah,
they've
there's
got
like some amazing special effects, like a ginormous like 3D dragon thing that blows fire, and like I thought that they'd accidentally caught the thing on fire, but I think it was a part of the effects.
Yeah, and they have like 4 big boats circling Mickey with
like the characters, so it's like a parade on the lake,
which was really cool because in Disneyland they didn't really have that. They had every like 30 minutes they had a parade going through,
and they have the
Disneyland.
big final princess parade at the end, which I think was like the equivalent.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, I definitely prefer the DisneySea one.
It seemed to be a lot more like artistically challenging almost to put on that sort of show as opposed to like a princess parade. Not that I'm saying that the princess parade isn't good and those actors are amazing.
Yeah.
They are, but it just seemed like this one had a lot more like, I don't know, like artistry go into it.
Yeah, for sure. But overall, like, we had a great experience with both. Actually, you know what? There is one bad thing about DisneySea, which is the Nemo ride. Like, the Nemo ride for me was just so bad.
So not even just the Nemo ride. In general, I reckon any of those rides where they're like, it's just like a 4D movie. It's cool, like the Star Wars one in Disneyland was good, but like I'd rather go on an actual roller coaster. But the Nemo ride in DisneySea was like, just a bit eh.
Yeah, true. Like, you probably can't even call it a ride, really, can you?
Yeah.
It's not a ride.
Like
It's a movie.
You get into like a big movie theatre thing.
Yeah.
And then your seats shake around when the movie does. Like.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's about as cool as it sounds. Like, it's pretty cool.
And
but...
the magician show.
Oh yeah, the magician show. So yeah, there's this world, like there's like an Aladdin world, and like there was a bit in it called the magician show, which I really wanted to go to. Ellie wasn't keen at all, I could
sense. My spidey senses were tingling.
I convinced her to go. Because here's the thing. I thought it was an actual magic show, right? If it's a magic show, that's great. You know, give me some tricks. Put in those like animatronic things that they have in Disneyland. Put in like some CGI. Put in some effects. They could have done something so cool with that. There's just endless possibilities of a magic show at Disneyland.
Instead, it was not.
Yeah, but instead they had one trick where they cut a girl in half, which, all right, that's pretty cool. Although we've seen that before, but yeah, that's fine. And then that was it. And then the rest of it was just a 3D movie of like the genie flying around
and then at the end, it like kicks your seats. Like your seats shake a little bit.
Yeah, they shake a little bit.
Like a tiny bit. But I mean, like, honestly, for how good the rest of it was, like, I'd still give it a 10 out of 10.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like,
for sure.
I know that Disney is not meant to be, like, the best, like, it's not a very good, like, ethical company.
You know what? I don't actually get that. Why do people say that Disney isn't ethical?
I think that in America, they pay their workers very poorly. But, I mean, that's America in general, right? Like, America doesn't have very good labour laws, so...
Like, I've never read anything about Disney and, like, sweatshop workers. But they probably have them.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. I think it's like, I think in general they get their bad press because a lot of their workers will be like working 12-hour days and then they literally are still homeless. Like, I think it's like one of those things where because in New Zealand we have such good minimum wage, we're kind of like separated from it. Like, you don't really think about like the workers like not earning enough to survive.
Yeah, in New Zealand we have a $17.80 minimum.
I think it's constantly going up. It's
minimum
really
wage.
good.
Yeah,
it's like really close to a living wage.
Yeah, that would give like anyone who's from America listening like a bit of a heart attack, I think. It's so much higher than what you guys get.
I mean, Australia earns more, but New Zealand's pretty good. But I mean, regardless, not about wages.
Yeah.
Disneyland, DisneySea, magical experiences.
Yeah, for sure.
Like,
definitely go if you're here.
Truly recommend.
Yeah, definitely go. And also if you go 2 days in a row to like Disneyland and DisneySea, it's cheaper, so do that.
Yeah, so we got like a 2-day pass where you have to go to DisneySea. So at the end of Disneyland, I was like, oh my god, this has been so good. Maybe we should just come back to Disneyland.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that Saumya was like, no, we have to go to DisneySea.
No, yeah, I'm really like pleasantly surprised with DisneySea. And yeah, and Disneyland, like you knew it was going to be good. Disneyland was like a 9.8 and DisneySea was 9.9.
Ooh, what was the 0.1? What happened to the 0.1 and the 0.2?
Nemo and the food.
Yeah, the food are totally... So outside of DisneySea and Disneyland, like at the train station that you first arrive at, there's a big mall. Like,
yeah, there was a mall.
Honestly, like have your breakfast before you go, maybe eat one meal when you're at Disneyland, and then just get your dinner at the mall afterwards.
Yeah, there's so many choices there.
Like we did that the second day. We went to the mall and we got pizza and it was great.
Yeah, the food's going to be cheaper. It's going to be better ever for there for sure.
So yeah, 100%. Like, great few days. Pretend the Frozen Cafe never happened. I'm blocking it from my memory
it's
from
already
now
gone.
onwards.
It's already gone.
Everything else was so good.
All right. Well, yeah. Okay, that's pretty much it then.
Sweet.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. We'll see you next week. Remember, you can follow us or subscribe to us on all the usual podcasting platforms. We're available on Apple, on Google Podcasts, on Spotify, and all the other ones. You can also follow us on social media.
Yep, so on Twitter and Facebook, our handle is T in Tokyo, T spelled TEA. And then on Instagram, we are T_in_Tokyo. So give us a follow. You can follow along with our journey.
Yeah, and give us any suggestions on what you want us to do here, what we should see, things like that.
Yeah, any recommendations, anything you're curious about, let us know, and we'll keep you updated.
Yeah, all right. See you later, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Sayonara.
Sayonara.